we have Alok and Mihir, who has been working in full stack developer profile from past 3 to 4 years. They have experience of more than 3 years. Talking about Mihir, he is currently working as a software engineer in Learning Mate. I think you have heard the name of that company. It's basically USA based company. Okay. Talking about Alok, he is currently full stack developer at TC consultancy service. So they are quite experienced. They started their journey of full stack development from their college itself onwards. So, so let just ask a normal question to the Mihir and Alok. Can you please share with us your day-to-day work life and the challenges you face of being a full stack developer? What's your day-to-day life and what's your daily life challenges what you face? Am I audible?
First, yes, yes, quite clear. So yeah, so first of all, thanks for having us, and thank you guys for joining this webinar. So and like at any point, like if it gets boring, just let us know in the comment section. We will try to make it more attractive, probably. So and first of all, like can you all see the slide? I guess the first slide. Mehdi, can you confirm?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, so first, so it's not been long. I used to be on the other side of this table. Earlier, I used to join some webinar, and this time I'm joining this side of the table. I'm really sorry. This being a host is actually interrupting a lot. Like people are still joining, so I have to click on admit to allow them to join. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. So it used to feel good back then, and it feels really nice still being this side of the table. So talking about my day-to-day life, since I'm already a full stack JavaScript developer, so my work involved working on the front end, sometime on the back end, and sometime writing Mongo queries mostly. So it's alternates like as per the project requirement. It depends, and quite frankly, to be very honest, every developers like me also, most of the time, most part of the day, I was like spends while scrolling through the Stack Overflow and reading out the documentation, fixing the bugs. And you asked about the challenges we face in our day-to-day life. So talking about challenges, the very first challenge, the inevitable, the bug. So whatever, how much optimize, whatever we want to design, bugs are always there. So yep, the very first challenging part comes bugs are introduced. And so when we work with the front end, the UI should it should be responsive. Every content should be well placed. So it should looking good. So and when we are talking about the back end, so then it comes the optimization. Since we deal with a huge data set, so it needs to be all well optimized. The response return time should be very less. So these all includes my day-to-day work life and challenges. And also me and Mihir as an organization called Open Devs to contribute to free to some open source projects. So Mihir, why don't you share your day-to-day life?
Yeah.
How
Okay. First of all, thanks Ashutosh for having us here, and thank you everyone for joining. So yeah, being a full stack developer, my work also revolves around JavaScript only, mostly. So I also do front end and then back end development and then database with JavaScript, and we use different kinds of databases. So it's not like just a single one. And then apart from that, I use JavaScript in scripting, means using Node.js. So and then I develop desktop and mobile application, that too using JavaScript only, different technologies, but the language is same. So yeah, and apart from that, I handle some cloud and DevOps opportunities at my organization. So yeah, and that's basically what I do day to day. And the challenges that we face are means quite similar. That client can come up with any kind of requirements, so we have to meet them and then discuss we need to know like how we can approach a solution and then try to find a solution, try to build that solution. So how I feel is you solve a challenge by the time you have thought of a solution. So that's what we always follow. So thinking of a solution is more important. Yeah. So, and apart from that, as Alok mentioned, me and Alok work as in our organization. Means as we have created one organization called Open Devs, where we actually do some open source projects. We in different areas we try to contribute to the JavaScript community only with different tools that we can create. And then apart from that, we work on some. We also have one project coming up after a while, which will make it easier for people to do some portfolio and those things. So yeah, and apart from that, we, me and Alok, in our leisure time, we do some freelancing projects, and yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Thank you, Meher and Alok, for sharing your day-to-day life experience. So, can you please tell me that how you started your journey from college to corporate? Means how does, means after, just after completing your college life, just land up in a full stack developer. So how it, matlab, how was the journey, and uh, what have you learned? Means which skills required from college to corporate for being a full stack developer? That's the basic
Yeah.
that anyone who is willing to learn full stack developer needs to answer. According to
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Astos. So yeah, my journey actually started well before means college ended. In the second year only, I was in doing some web-based projects on JSP. So that's then after that I realized that if I'm doing this, why not I pick up something that is modern, and then I started investigating into PHP stack and .NET stack and Node.js. And believe me, PHP was the interesting thing back then, so you cannot blame me. But yeah, then internship, we started applying, me and Alok together, we started applying for different internship opportunities. So yeah, I was able to crack one internship in product-based startup, and the interviewer is here in the audience, Saurabh Datta, and a brilliant guy. So yeah, so then in that internship, I mostly learned about like what JS is, and means how we can use different JS framework and those things. And that's where means Node.js became my main thing. Means I started doing some IoT projects, and I started developing web projects also. So the basically the work involved collecting data from sensors, building and visualizing them. So, and then there were different other small projects too. So that's where I encountered Node.js for the first time. And then after that, I got another internship opportunities in a US client for remote internship opportunities. So that is where I got to know about first time like the JS front-end framework, which is Angular. So yeah, that was also so you can see like this is how miss it progressed, and I learned about different things. Then another internship opportunity in a mid-level IoT startup came, and there I got to know about like Node.js internals,
means
and
means
we used to
means
work with.
means Mihir, I'm getting that if you are good in means full stack developer or web development, you will be easily able to land up an internship in your second year or third year. It's quite,
Yes.
and then machine learning and AI, that requires a lot means stats and mathematics parts. It's a bit easy because
Yeah.
I think it's easy because it's bit practical. What we learn, we apply at the same time.
Yes, actually, that's what excites you, miss, about this miss full stack web development, because you are building something and you are seeing the result at the same point of time. And yeah, so yes, then after that, we had that IoT startup opportunity converted to a MN, I was looking into different job offers, but I I didn't believe in MNC at that point. But because of Alok, my views changed later, because MNCs can also provide you like great opportunities if you strive for it. So yeah, then in the means when the job was converted to a software engineer, that is where I learned how to implement different technologies, work with different things, switch between different tasks, and means it makes your like it made my skills expandable, adaptable, malleable, and I could switch between different projects and different parts of projects. So, and coming to what keeps us going, what keeps me going is like there is always challenges. There is something new coming up in JavaScript community every time. Like every once in a while, you will see like something comes up and that totally changes how you saw that means the development. So that is the challenge. Then there is like something to how different things integrate together, how we can form a design which is like efficient, modular, and scalable at the same time, and then how we can conquer some requirement that comes from the clients. So that's what JS enables us to do, more than one thing, and that's very empowering. So that's
Okay,
how
okay.
that is about my journey. So Alok, why don't you tell us about your journey?
First of all, like there are some chat I can see. Some of us are like are not able to hear. Is this for all, or few? Only few can't hear us.
Just let us know in our chat.
Yeah, I can see Sam Prasad has tried 3 times, can't hear us. What
Uh,
about others? Can you please ping in the group?
audible. Okay, fine, fine. We can.
Audible, audible.
Okay, 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 okay,
I
fine.
think Sam Prasad, you can try changing your device. So yeah, everyone for okay. Okay. Yeah. So coming back the
Okay,
questions.
okay.
So
Thank you.
journey about so the journey about being a college student, basically, or asking about the transition of a college student to a corporate employee. So as me said, like we were college mates. So from after second, like first year, past years, like and the days passes, we were just enjoying the college life. In second year, we realized we should be serious about our career and we should do something good. So during second year, like Android also was a hype. Like most of them are doing Android app development. So I thought of like, okay, why not take a training on Android? So I took training. I made some project and got landed on internship. But one thing I noticed, like while like working as an intern in a startup company, so whenever the client used to give some requirement, that was actually very tough to build with this Java, with the Android Studio, because client used to refer to some high standard app, something like sometimes Flipkart, sometimes the Swiggy. So what used to happen, they are actually hybrid apps. So I started realizing that Android is not actually the future. It's sooner or later this Android using Java is going to deprecate. So I have to act fast. So during third year of my college, I started like web journey with HTML, CSS. I learned the tough way because I didn't have any mentorship, anything. So for me, it was quite difficult to pick everything up. So from here, something from there, I started taking training, and again after at that time, this PHP, as Mihir said, we don't know since back then we were just a kid at that time. So I also did the training on PHP and made some quite good project. But soon again we realized, okay, PHP is not going to be there since long in the market.
Yeah, I
But
think
I have actually
it's out of market now. I think so.
yeah, yes, actually, only Laravel, which is a PHP framework, has kept it alive for a while. But yeah, well, and the other thing was this. So till then, what happened? The placement came and interview was there. I think most of us can relate with me because a lot of us at some point of time going to join TCS, someone's going to join TCS or Wipro or Infosys, this MNC, big MNC company. So I think you all can relate to me. What happened, like during placement interview happened and they asked me about this internship. The interview was mostly about this web development journey. And when I joined TCS, I got this, I preferred for TCS Bangalore and I got that. When I joined TCS Bangalore, there is a process like when you join some team, internal happening and like internal interview happen, like that is actually taken by a delivery manager. So basically they interview again, like even after joining the TCS, they take an interview to determine whether I am going to be a developer, a tester, or a support guy for this particular team. So my, as you can see, like since I had already the knowledge of this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then the PHP at that time, and the Android. So this gave me, like my interview went quite well. So interview, I was selected as a developer. After that, I heard that luckily in that project, Mean Stack was like the project which was ongoing was of Mean Stack. So I took the courtesy and talked to an architect, like, hey, I want to be a part of this current live project. Can I? So what he said, I'm giving you just 10 days. So if someone is trying to start from ground zero, 10 days
Yes,
is like, it will just pass by.
Kuldeep,
Yeah.
we will take your question in the last. Don't worry. How to start? We will take your question in the last. Okay. Am I audible, Kuldeep?
Hey, sorry, Asutosh, but I think like you can reply to these in the comment section, in chat section, actually. That will
Yeah.
be great.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this, I was asked to just like 10 days to prepare about this main stack. Luckily, I had Mihir. So Mihir already had experience of this Node and Angular and all. So he guided me. He actually mentored me what resources to refer to, what to do. And in 10 days after this after my training, the my architect asked me to do a POC. POC is nothing but a proof of concept. You can say a test. Suppose like he asked me to build a full stack application using Mean Stack. Luckily, I made because I had Meher as a mentor. So I completed that project, and this proving myself at the very earliest made a big impact. Like people had generally an understanding like he is joining TCS or he is joining Wipro or some big MNC. He's going to sit on a bench for a long time. He's going to get paid as really, or it's not going to be great in future. But if you have acted up fast in the like during college time, if you have some knowledge and you are showcasing that your skill in the initial time itself, it is definitely going to help. What happened with me, I had the knowledge of JavaScript, and if you know knowledge of JavaScript, then picking any framework or library is not too much. So I proved myself, and I actually got customer appreciation, this client appreciation, and I earned respect from the senior. So yes, this is the exciting thing, and like this is the you can say mentality of the people joining any MNC. So if you act fast in the MNC, you will definitely get recognition. And once you get recognition, obviously there is some on-site opportunity, the client location opportunity. So yes,
Yeah.
and as Mihir said, this JavaScript community is so big, it's happening. So obviously we are always excited to learn new things
Yeah.
and carry on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Thank
enables
you.
you in many ways.
Thank you, Alok. And actually, there was question in my mind that if for a college students, there are two options. As I have just passed college, so there are two options for a college students. Either to do competitive coding.
Sure.
Well, means most shouted thing in the college is competitive coding, and that's good because if you are looking for a good job, then you have to be means good in competitive coding. Most big companies like means most product based company hire through uh, means they they hire through giving a good problem solving questions. So for a college students is uh, means full stack developer. For being a full stack developer, is competitive coding is required or not?
Yeah. So Astos, actually, coding in competitive way is not required to work as a full stack web developer. But to work on any IT sector projects, you need to have a basic understanding of data structure and algorithm. A basic knowledge of it is required because means you will encounter many challenges where you will have to choose the most optimized solution or the most optimized way to counter that problem. So in those areas, if you have the basic of data structure and algorithm with you, it helps. Like for example, let's say you have a large set of production metric data. Now
Yeah,
someone tells you like, okay, yeah, client comes up and tells you, okay, I need top 5 or top 10 of those metric data. So of course you will need to sort those data. So which algorithm you use at this point will be determined by if you know basics of the data structure and algorithm. And same goes for, like, let's say you have some data which is coming in, the requirement to handle that data is you need to handle the last
yeah.
instruction as the first one, or in
Okay.
some other scenario first instruction as first one. So which data structure you use at that point is the big
Yeah,
question.
okay.
Then if you are building a social media platform, so and you need to make some recommendation system for new so you need to know like which data structure to use at that point. So yeah, miss, as you can see, like in these different scenarios, you need basic of data structure and algorithm skills. And so it's you shouldn't like feel like to escape it. You can just simply learn some of the basics of sorting, some of basic of searching,
Means
and some basic.
I think that will help in increasing the efficiency or something.
Yes, exactly. You are,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's
it
help.
means some basic is required. Not that you need to be say a full hardcore coder at that point to encounter everything that comes your way. But yeah, if you have the basics with you, you can
Yeah.
do
So
that.
just a basic question means for any means college going student that's arises in my mind in arises in their mind that is competitive coding or full stack developer, which is better one?
Uh,
Which one
let me answer
has the
this
better
question.
coding?
Let me answer this question. I have a personal experience with this question. So initially, like whenever someone starts the journey, so they have a question like which is better, either a competitive coding or a full stack, either any web development full stack. So as you already mentioned, if you are into competitive coding, if you are being at the very top of your, like if you are just a 2-star or 3-star or barely 4-star, you won't get even any recognition. But if you are at the very top, so as you mentioned, big MNC, sorry, big product-based companies offers a huge sum of amount, a huge sum of package.
Yeah. That's the point means
Hmm.
only the creamy layer means upper layer of that only get benefited.
Yeah, so to be very honest, it's never a comparison between a competitive coding or a full stack web development. It's a personal choice. Like if you are coming at a broad level, at an IT level, there is two things in there. One category is the developer category, the other category is of the like this coder category. So this talking about like the very basic, it's all your personal what you feels like. When I started my journey, so I tried some coding, but seeing that few of the test cases passed, or like out of 4 or 3, some 3 test cases passed, it didn't excite me. And as Mihir said, like when I coded some HTML CSS, I can see the output, like it actually it makes me excited. So that's what lead me into this app development, this full stack development. I can agree on one thing, the comparatively average salary for a competitive coding is comparatively more than this full stack development, but there is a catch. Like if you are at the very top of that competitive coding, then
Yeah.
only you are going to get placed at a big
That's
MNC.
that's what
Yes,
I'm
and
saying.
exactly. And the other aspect, like what I have experienced throughout this journey, this competitive coding requires a lot of problem solving skills. Like you should be really good at it, not just good, you should be really good at it. And with web development, once you are comfortable around it, so you must have a problem solving skills rather than you have to skill of this solving this puzzle, like combining stuffs. Basically, when full stack comes in this front end back end, so combining stuff, you should be aware of the system. So yeah, in the bigger picture, this competitive coding sounds so cool, and like we hear that 30 lpa 40 lpa, but it's not very practical. And picking
No,
this competitive coding
it's
at
basically that means only the those who are good means means who are
yeah, at the very top,
4-star or above
basically.
5-star at the code set are only.
Actually, on this I can comment one thing. If you are being a 4-star developer, it doesn't guarantee you are going to get or even 5-star or 6. So it's all about like the what's your personal choices.
Yeah, that's the,
So
yeah.
hmm,
It's
yep,
what you are means what you are willing to learn.
exactly. Yeah, where
Yeah.
you are aligned to.
Mm, okay. So, what means I want to ask that what's the average package that an individual can get after just graduating the college? And so if is working in full stack development. I think in the past 1 year is one of the most shouted job is the full stack developer. Most shouted job. After that's a data scientist or something that blockchain is also bringing some revolution.
Yeah, actually, Ashutosh,
Blockchain, I
actually,
think
with full, yeah,
blockchain. I think it's the must high means the paying amount is bit higher in blockchain, but and also blockchain is a thing like that. You require a lot of skills, like you require multi languages. So
yes.
want to know this after just
Yeah, actually, Stosh, for
yeah.
full stack web developer, there are many opportunities. Being if it's any company, means any B2B or even B2C companies, whatever they are, they have some means some portals and everything. So every company requires this designation, full stack web developer. Some of companies opt to outsource their this kind of work to other companies, but yeah, and some companies opt for doing those things in house, the opportunities, but there are opportunities everywhere for this. So the opportunities can range from being freelancing, half time, temporary basis, full time, or contract basis. So it's like everywhere. So and because full stack is always changing, so the bar is also higher. So usually what I see, and based on the LinkedIn stats of like average salary and those, you can get like you can expect to have 4+ LPA packages for full stack web developer role there. So
Means
and then it depends on your skill and how you, yeah.
for just a college, just a fresher student.
Yes, it
Yes,
is actually 4+, and the best thing about this is it grows exponentially. Once you are into this organization, and if you are kept proving your worth, your keenness to learn new things at a pace rate and fulfilling the client's requirement, so this salary like increases exponentially. It all depends on your capability after entering.
Mm. So just let means all things are done means just a basic question that how can a college student just pursue a full stack development starting from the scratch? Just let us explain. Just let us know from
yeah.
very scratch.
Yeah, actually, means they we touched upon this also. So there is actually a roadmap, you can say. So there are some basics that you need to know. That is like HTML, CSS, some CSS framework, and then JavaScript. This is the basic. This is the core thing that you have to know before you can means come into this full stack picture. Now from here you need to pick a stack, and there are many stack in the means in the industry. So you can choose a predominantly JavaScript stack, that is Mean, Mern, Maven, and there are other also, but these are like the most popular one. And then you can go, if you want to choose some PHP stack, you can choose LAMP stack. If you want to do it with Python, you can choose Python or Django, or you can choose .NET, or you can choose Ruby on Rails stack and this thing. So it's upon choice, but at core point you need to have those basics, and then it you need to investigate upon that, whichever interests you the most, whichever is rising in the market, you can choose that and then pursue it.
Okay.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Means it's two various technical terms are there where there's for a college students it's bit difficult for them to understand what's APIs and all are.
Yeah.
So just let us know means from the scratch that how they are interlinked means how we learn from step by step that suppose we have learned HTMLs, then we will CSS, then after JavaScript, like this there is a proper path. So just how they are interlinked, they are forming a big picture that's called full stack development. So just
Okay, let
just
me take this question. And actually, we have prepared a slide whole for this, make you guys understand the bigger picture of this full stack and what is front end, what is back end, and how they are interlinked, what purpose they fulfill. So yes, as you can all see my screen like this, we have actually prepared a slide. So let it be any terms, like any questions, like whatever we hear, anything at the first or the first question comes in mind is like what. So if I'm talking about full stack web development journey, the first question arises, what is full stack web development journey? So in this the consecutive slides, we are going to answer these three frequent questions: what, why, and how. Basically, this covers all the aspects of our full stack web developer journey. So let me switch through this slide. Yeah. So
so
basically in the consecutive,
so guys just go through it. They are just discussing from the scratch.
yeah, and yeah, no need to take a screenshot. We will be sharing this presentation along with you all after this. And Asutosh, you can take rest. Like we will take it from here, and me and Mihir is basically going to make all the participant understand this full stack, like this front end, back end, what this combined together makes a full stack, how they are interlinked, how one can become, why industry needs full stack, and so yeah. So the things which we are going to discuss here is first question is obviously what is full stack web development. The other question arises why industry needs full stack development, or like is it really company are looking for full stack, or we are just making extra effort to learn everything. The third question arises, okay fine, I got it, like what is full stack and why is it required. Like let's suppose, what if I want to become a full stack web developer, from where should I start, what key factors should I be aware of? So these are the questions we thought of explaining the bigger picture with the help of these slides. So Mihir, I think you should
Yeah.
start. Yep.
Yeah, sure. So the first question is like, what is full stack web development? So yeah, we can begin with that. So yeah, so actually, let's try to understand what full means here. Full stack web development comprises of different components like front end, back end, database, and then there is also different things like testing and deployment. So what front end means is like anything that you see in that you get to see in the application as a user, you get to see in an application in a browser or in a mobile application, hybrid application or desktop application, anything that you see. So it's like a presentation logic that is there. So when you are joining Zoom also, you see a means UI come in front of you. You need to enter some meeting code to there. Then you click on the button. Then some loader shows up, and then it takes you to the meeting screen. So all these the things that you are seeing there are all in the front end. All those comes as a front end. So it can include many things like full stack development, like structuring of the UI design behavior, how content will look, how responsiveness should be handled, image should be optimized, and compatibility should be maintained. So the main focus in front end is the UI and UX part, like user interface and user experience part, right? Now coming to backend and database part. So backend or server side is the business logic, the logic that actually molds that data to send to that client so you can see that. So coming to the Zoom example that we took only. So when you are clicking on some meeting ID and you are clicking join, so what happens is from front end an API call is made to backend. Now backend has in database, it is stored that this meeting is going to start from 6, right? So the backend will fetch that data from the database. It will see like, okay, at what time you are trying to join. if you are trying to join before that, it will send a response that meeting hasn't started yet. And if you are trying to join after that, then it will let you get into the meeting. So this is the basic, like this is very basic example of it, but backend is anything that enables the front end. So means it can include like writing APIs, means to communicate with the client system, creating libraries, working on system components, automating some tasks, integrating databases, making the databases model, optimizing different queries that we are using, and there are many things, etc. So yeah. So now coming to full stack. So full stack involves front end, the back end, and database part that we told you. And apart from that, there is deployment and testing involved too. So in testing, whatever you are creating, front end and back end, you need to test them in different environments, in different scenarios, and there are different kinds of testing too. That is out of scope currently, but yeah. And then deployment, you need to take care of, like you need to deploy some application to cloud, and then how you can do that and those things. So yeah, Alok has a great diagram to show you, like to better illustrate this thing.
Thank you, Mihir. So as Mihir explained everything, so he talked about the bigger picture. There is a front end, there is a back end, and there is a full stack. I'm just trying to simplify the same thing with a very simple example for which you all can relate to. So specifically in here, I'm going to talk about this MERN stack. So probably you are already aware of this. What is this MERN stack? So this M stands for DB, then we have this E stands for Express, and then we have this R stands for React, then we have the N, which stands for Node.js. So let me take an example of PCCap. The very first thing, like so you can say it like something like hello world. So we have this to-do application. So if you are practicing any application, if you are learning anything, the make is to-do application. So let me like explain this whole MERN example. So you have a to-do app. You see there is an input field on which write something. So let's suppose you write like you have to buy some snack in the evening. So buy, and then there is a plus button. So whatever you see over there, there is an input field and a button, and then there is a list of items showing, which is right as of now it is blank because there is nothing have you added right now. So whatever you see over there, that is application which is made out of React is a JavaScript. There is a whole big contradiction goes on, like it is a library or a framework. So let's stick to the library for me. So you can say that whatever UI you see is nothing but it's a React application, which you can see. The thing comes in, like let's say you written over there like I have to buy a snack, and then you click on this plus button. What happens? This when you click on a plus button, it makes an API call to the backend. Then question it comes in like what this API is, and then what this backend is. Basically in my particular example, this backend is comprises of two things: this Express application and then the Node.js, and then plus MongoDB. I will come to this MongoDB part later. Talking about this Node.js, earlier like we have a concept like JavaScript can be executable only in the browser. So what happened, the creator of Node.js took out this JavaScript, whatever have used to happen behind the scene in the browser. So he took it out over from there and combined it with, you can say, C++ and created a Node.js server. So Express.js, you can even, I can make my particular backend API call, manage my API call just with Node.js, but Express.js is another framework made on top of this Node.js, which makes this API call way easier. Like API call is basically application package interface, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So API call is nothing, when you click on a button, a request is made, like a server from the front end, this client machine makes a request to my Express, this API route. We have a defined route. If I'm calling this particular route, this operation is going to happen. So my React application makes a request to the backend with the data that I have to buy a snack. So what happened with the Express? In the Express application, we have defined several routes. So let's say I called a route called /save anything. So this Express application, this particular my MongoDB, this particular my backend interact with the Mongo database using MongoDB driver, and basically we interact with MongoDB using this Mongo queries. So basically there are predefined set of queries made, like which we can there you can say that set a rule. If I want to get some data, I have to do .find or something like that. So basically if you will see a cycle from top to bottom, there is a React application which is in which I'm entering something and clicking on add button. Then it makes a call to our Express application, which is basically our backend. This calls our MongoDB. Fine, you have to store this data. Once this is stored, it just stored, and then it send the status kind of say successfully I have stored this thing. And this Express application revert back to the React application stating whatever operation you have asked me to do, whatever operation, it is successfully done. So now what happened, since I tried to do the add operation to the Mongo database, so that particular record, buying the snack from the market, is now added to the Mongo database. And the moment I added, I made another API call, another request from the React application to get all the data from the Mongo database. So what happened? The moment it got saved, it responded back me with the successful. Okay, now last operation you tried to save something is now successful. Now again at the same time I'm making another request to my Node application asking, okay fine, the last operation was successful, why don't you bring me all the record whatever is inserted in MongoDB. Then MongoDB, what it does, it responds like, since right now only I have added this buying snacks from the market, so it returns back that particular record. Now in the React application I have that React, so this translation, this React, from the React to this Express and then to Mongo and then reverting back to React application, it actually happens in the form of JSON. So now we have the data in our React application, and so we actually fetch that data in the form of table or whatever UI we have created. So in brief, this is how the MERN stack is like designed. We have our Mongo to store data, a React application to interact with the user, to handle their like what user wants, and this Express application, you can say the central part of our application. This handles every logic and every client's requirement, like on click of this it should happen, and that what should happen, that functionality is actually written inside this Express app, this backend server. I think I made myself clear. Okay, proceeding with the next slide. Mihir, can you take this slide?
So yeah, then another question comes up, like why industry needs full stack web development. So yeah, let's see, look into that. So yes, Alok, please change the slide.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So yeah, so the demand of full stack previously, the demand of full stack web development used to come because of businessman's urge was Alok. The slide isn't changed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think okay. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah. So previously, the demand of full stack web development used to come from businessmen's urge to like have fewer developer who can do more. But that has drastically changed in coming time, because the tools that you use to make an application or to make a any kind of application are becoming powerful by time. So so you can a single person can leverage those different tools, or a single team with set of skills which can be from backend to front end to DB, and those things can handle all this at once. So that is why this requirement is coming up. Now, instead of having different teams of experts for different purposes like front end, back end, or anything UI, UX, database, it is more efficient to have one team with all of these skills and so that there can be better client coordination, because client can will need to come to one team and tell them, okay, I need this, I need to change this. So instead of interacting with three different teams, just in one team it's all done. So yeah, so that's why now, because of that, most companies are very means are very rigorously searching for finest of full stack developers, so that they means you will use different reusable components, but at the end of the day, your goal is to create something from scratch and to the complete application. And why companies choose for the means good team is because so that there is no discontinuation. Like if one full stack developer leaves at certain point due to something, so another can pick up, because you know the system from top to bottom. So yeah, so that is why using less resources, the more productive hours are utilized, and the complete solution is also attainable. So this is why industry actually needs full stack developer. So yeah, so moving on to the next question, how can you become a full stack web developer? So Alok, would you like
Yeah,
to
yeah,
take
yeah.
this?
Sure. Yeah. So how can you, what it takes to become a full stack web developer? So yeah, first questions arise. Now you are all aware what is full stack web developer. Full stack meaning you have to handle the front end, the back end, and then the database and connecting all that. But there are a lot of stack available. By stack means like we have this MERN stack, then the mean stack, then the Maven stack. Then again it comes in this LAMP stack, Python, .NET, genres, and there are a lot. The very first question comes in like what stack you are choosing. So I took the example of MERN stack. So it's you have to actually do some experiment, research the market, check in like what is trending in the market right now. So after once you have done so all research, this you get like, as of now this MERN stack is the trending thing. If you search for any jobs in the full stack, you will see most of the job openings are asking for this MERN stack, this you can say, expertise. At least you should be aware of MERN stack. So yeah, basically you have to choose one stack and you have to follow a certain path. As we already explained, the roadmap, you have to first start with this HTML, CSS, JS, and then you can continue with this MERN stack. For example, I'm taking, you can obviously continue with mean stack, Maven stack, depending upon the seeing the market trend and what it is asking to. So yes, and the other thing is this requires you to stay updated. So like market changes, like now and then something comes in this full stack. Even if you're the JavaScript developer, every now and then something now new get introduced. So you should be always updated to the every environment, like what something new is coming, what is getting deprecated. So you have to be updated. Uh, the third point is very personal to me. Follow good courses, but don't fall in course. Yeah, what happened, like what we used to do, we used to follow some YouTube or like you can say the Udemy or anything. What we do, we actually follow the instructor whatever he is coding, and we used to make the same project, and we think like now we know what this mean stack is and what the MERN stack is. Now I'm aware of. But when it comes to the real coding, when you actually have to develop, you are left with nothing. So you again go to some other course and again follow the same thing. So the same thing happened with me, but luckily again I had Mihir. So instead of falling in this like loop, once you are aware of this, you should start developing project. Initially you can develop a clone of something. Once you are done with that, then you should start like one thing you should always keep in mind, like when you're like emerging full stack developer, always develop project which is sellable and production ready. Like even if you are cloning something, you should add some extra feature which is not now like present in that. Let's say if you are cloning the Instagram, you should add one more feature to it, which is exciting. So yeah, that should be the end goal. Obviously the basic data structure and algorithm is always an advantage because it gives your application an optimized way, the whole optimized application. And lastly but not the least, always be flexible. Like if you, let's say if I'm going to be a mean stack developer, so don't be rigid with just mean stack developer. If time comes in, you have to switch to some other libraries or framework be ready with it. Like with JavaScript, that is the best thing about JavaScript. It gives us flexibility to easily switch to MERN stack, or let's say Maven stack, or any new trending technology is coming in. So because down to the very bottom, it's always JavaScript, and then we have the documentation which we have to follow, and then build or design an application. So yeah, I think these all point, if you keep in your mind, then you are like ready to become a full stack developer. And while being this full stack developer, always follow this. Don't follow in like course loop, or yeah, just keep these points in mind, and yep, you are going to definitely be a great full stack developer. Yeah, we came to the end of this PPT. Here is a quote from this free code. This is actually a very great website you can refer to anytime. So yep, definitely we are going to share this particular PPT with you all. Asutosh, you can take in from here. Right? We are actually done with this presentation, and actually we are ready to take question if we have any. And if, let's say, if someone wants to interact with us, ask some personal question meaning obviously related to full stack web dev, so he can do the same. He or she can do the same.
Yeah, Alok, please unmute Ashutosh. I believe he is mute. He told me.
Okay. Let me check that.
Hmm.
Okay. Just a second. Participants. Where is?
Some internet issues are there. So
Oh, we can
yeah.
take the question.
Yes.
Yeah,
So one question.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lost my internet connection. Sorry.
Right.
So guys, if you have any question, do ask in the chat box. Actually, my chat box is empty because just it's internet connection. Just because of unstable connection, it's get disconnected. So just guys, feel free to ask any question. Okay.
And if someone is trying to actually communicate with us, he or she can raise his or her hand, and then we will unmute him to have a conversation.
Yeah,
If someone wants to.
if you want to ask question verbally, then just raise your hand. We will unmute you, and then you can ask your question.
Mihir, as of now, we have two questions. One is this MERN stack or Django. Would you like to answer this? I think you already initiated.
Yes. Actually, means both have similar things like ORM and templates and everything. So MERN stack also has that, and Django also has that. But one thing that I have always seen people say is Django is very slow compared to like MERN, because of Node and Express particularly being very means because they are asynchronous, while natively isn't async. So MERN stack is faster than compared to Django. So but it depends on your use case, like what you want to build with that system, and what you want to achieve with it. So if you Anvisha, if you can expand on that, then we can like.
And Mihir,
we can tell you better.
Yeah, and Mihir, whatever you said, completely agree. And there is actually no comparison. It all depends on your personal use case. But if you talk about the industry level, so you can see the trend. Like if you're talking about the Django, obviously there are a lot of companies using this Django framework to make web application. But if you're going to compare it with the JavaScript world, obviously the number is less. So if you're just talking in term of the employability, then I will suggest you should go with this MERN stack, because in the JavaScript, if you start learning the JavaScript, you have you can always switch to mean stack, MERN stack, Maven stack, or whatever new framework is coming. But if you are talking about referring to some use case, then you have to actually explain your question a little bit more. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually.
So Anvesa, have your doubt has been clear or not? Please let us know in the chat. If you still have some doubt, feel free to ask. Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
then we had another question like how to start open source contributions, right?
That's good.
So yes,
Yeah,
asked by Kuldeep. So yeah, Kuldeep, actually it's just means in front of you. You need to go to GitHub. You can by your own create something, any kind of project you want, and you can contribute there. If you have some unique idea, you can contribute there. You can then form some articles and let people know about those whatever you created. Or if you feel like there are many things you can contribute into, so you can see different projects and whatever feels like okay, this is some problem that means in open source world, most of the time in every repos there is a section like issues. So you can see like whatever people are requesting or whatever issues are happening with some project. So you can just, if you feel like you can solve that issue, you can just contribute in that. You can take a pull request and then code it, and then you can merge that code into their repository. So yeah, this is how means there are many ways to contribute to open source society. You can create npm packages, you can create pip packages or anything. So it's very vast question actually. So yeah.
Mihir, I would just add some more point to this open source contribution. I think which will make him more clear. So I would like to take an example, Kuldeep. So a few days back, me and Mihir were working on one of the freelancing project, on my weekend. So what happened? We have a use case. Basically, we were working on a Vue project. So we have a use case where we have to show the horizontal slides. Basically, you will see the horizontal cards which should be scrollable in nature. So what happened, we looked for the different npm packages, we found one, everything was good, only the missing part was it was not auto scrollable. So we have to actually press an arrow to make it scrollable. So there comes the problem statement. Now you have to, what you can do, you can write your code to basically if your use case is to make that horizontal card scrollable, you have to write code because that's the client requirement. But if you're talking about the open source contribution, so what actually I'm taking this inspiration from the Mir. So what he did, he actually took the pull request of that particular took the for that particular project, that npm project, and added some more code to it to make that horizontal card scrollable. So that is the use case. And the other, as already Mihir said, you can always refer to the issue page. So it's all, if you have some idea, you can start from scratch and make it that as an open source. Or if you want to contribute, so it's like if you belong to a JavaScript developer, then obviously the npm is the best place to start. Find some package. Let's say you are working on any particular package, and if that particular package is missing out any feature, you can add that feature. Or if you are from the Python, so anything, so there are always the library or something to do that. And the other question was there, Mihir. Yeah, sorry, who was asking? Okay, let me complete this first. Can you say some website where we can practice? I mean, we can practice daily some task and learn new things like that. The first thing is coming in my mind is the Free Code Camp, obviously. Instead of Free Code Camp is a great website, then there are ample amount. If you search for to look for some websites, so Free Code Camp, the Odin project is the other website. So you can actually go to that. I think recently HackerRank has also started integrating this full stack project certification program. You can actually go to that and practice some of the JavaScript code. So yes, you can do that.
Yeah. And now we have a question from Abhishek, like, do companies expect full stack? Okay, Alok, it will be great if you type some of the websites in the chat. Meanwhile, I answer this question.
Okay.
So, yeah. So another question from Abhishek is like, do companies expect full stack developer when they come for placement of fresher? Given that full stack developer needs to have experience and should have worked on number of projects. Okay, so yeah, means basic, if you are, it depends on what you show, means what you are showing. If you are showing like you are coming from scratch and you don't know like means what is required, like let's say in the Alok's case, as Alok shared, Meanstack was the current project they were working on, Meanstack, but Alok didn't have it knowledge at that point of time. He had knowledge of basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but not Meanstack. So what he did, he learned that. So there are two scenarios. Either you can go as a full fresher who doesn't knows anything, and then you can pick up different skills, and in that process only you build yourself, build your skills of full stack development. And yeah. And the other thing is, if you want to just means come as means show yourself as a full stack developer, show your profile as a full stack developer from the beginning. So yeah, definitely you need to like have some projects under your belt, and to show something like on GitHub or anything like that. So some not too much, but yeah, they will try to test your existing skills if you say you have those existing skills. So that's all. I hope that answers your question.